Ever since Sanders was hired to be the head coach for the Colorado Buffaloes, it seems there has been non-stop controversy surrounding the Buffs program. Some of it is justified, but I think a lot of it is overhyped, particularly the hate towards the players. Shedeursanders is one of the most polarizing but underrated players I can ever remember seeing. Today, we're going to be talking about what makes Sanders a great quarterback and ultimately where I believe he will get selected in the 2025 NFL Draft. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Week 1 of the college football season is officially upon us, and so I have a bunch of these prospect spotlights that I will be doing throughout the weekend. Also, be sure to check out my Patreon, which I will have linked down below. For $5 a month, you guys will get exclusive access to my draft guide, evaluations, big board, prospect interviews, and much more. Stay tuned for more videos just like this, and without further ado, let's take a deeper dive into Shedeur Sanders. Sanders had super impressive numbers in his first season with the Buffs. He finished the season with 3,229 yards, 27 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and he completed 68.5% of his passes. He put up solid numbers despite some of the worst offensive line play in all of the FBS, and I think he has some serious potential going into the 2024 season to prove he can be a franchise quarterback in the NFL. Sanders is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in college football. He makes incredibly smart decisions with the football, and he doesn't put the ball in harm's way. He had a 1.6% turnover-worthy play percentage in 2023, which is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, completing 70% of your passes is great, but it goes further than that. He is incredibly cool, calm, and collected in the pocket, and he never feels panicked. He always knows what to do with the football, and I love that about him. I think people will see the 49 sack number and think he has poor feel in the pocket, but I would actually venture to say he has some of the best pocket presence of any quarterback in the draft class. Pressure really doesn't faze him. He continued to make excellent decisions under pressure. He did a good job of climbing the pocket while keeping his eyes down the field. When under pressure, he completed 48.8% of his passes. When blitzed, he completed 63% of his passes. He makes great decisions when under pressure and does a good job of feeling where the rush is coming from. Not only can he pass though, but he is a better athlete than the number will lead you to believe. He has the ability to take off with his legs and run if the defense gives him an open lane, and while that's not an area that he likes to dive into regularly, it still is something that defenses have to acknowledge. People are going to have character concerns with Sanders, but I think a lot of that is overblown. I love quarterbacks that are confident and have a different level of swagger, and Sanders does that. I also think he has a clutch gene in him that not a lot of players in this class have. When you look at the win-loss totals at Colorado, I don't think it tells the full picture. He made some incredible passes late in games to help keep the Buffs alive or win them. You look back at that USC game, that Colorado State game, he was making play after play in that game that kept Colorado alive. And he has the clutch gene and he shows up in big games, and that's something that I really like about Sanders. Sanders is nowhere near a perfect quarterback though. He has his fair share of issues that I think he needs to clean up when he gets to the league. It starts with his throwing mechanics. His throwing motion, his footwork, and the basics of being a quarterback are very inconsistent. He needs to work on that at the next level because it does affect his passes in a major way, particularly his arm strength. Sanders doesn't have the greatest arm in the world. I wouldn't say he has poor arm talent, but there are times where he is unable to push the ball deep down the field like you would like to see. It's very inconsistent. Some of it can be traced back to inconsistent mechanics, but nonetheless, his deep ball is very spotty at the moment and it's an area he has to work on. We mentioned the character as well, but as I said, I'm not concerned, but people are going to be talking about an all draft process, so just get ready for that. Sanders is a very solid all-around quarterback, but that's just it. I don't think he's a super special athlete in any way, but he is a very smart, cerebral quarterback who makes good decisions with the football and is incredibly accurate. Those are all things that will translate. We didn't even mention how he has fantastic size for the position as well, but due to inconsistent mechanics and a lack of great arm strength, he comes in as my QB2. A lot can change in a year, and I could see this going either way for Sanders. It's a very jumbled class right now, but I think Sanders' accuracy and clutch ability in big moments give him the edge over some of these other quarterback prospects. In terms of a scheme fit, Sanders would work best in a spread offense, one where he can get the ball out of his hands quickly and work the middle of the field. Ideally, he can improve his mechanics, and he will be able to mix in some deep ball shots, which do show up from time to time, but I think Sanders working the middle of the field in an up-tempo type spread offense would be perfect for him. My player comparison for Shedeur Sanders is Seattle Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith. Don't sleep on Geno. Geno is quietly one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL, and he makes some of the most jaw-dropping throws you'll see almost on a weekly basis. Both are very good decision makers who love to work the middle of the field and can run it when they need to. Geno has had a great career resurgence, and he shows some really high upside moments, and I think Sanders can be that at the NFL level. Shedeur Sanders is an overhated prospect. He's a smart football player with great feel, clutch moments, and elite accuracy. You'd like to see him clean up some of his inconsistencies, but ultimately, I believe that Shedeur Sanders will be a first-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft.